This video is sponsored by Storyblocks. Today, I'm making a beautifully lit and styled photograph of iced coffee and cream. There's just one tiny problem. That is boring. But that's what the client wants, and I'm here to deliver. So, as soon as we make that beautifully boring image, I'm turning it up a notch. I'm cranking it straight up to 11. All right, so I'm going to start with my key light here. I want to get a really nice reflection on the right-hand side of that cup. Just skip this light off of the right-hand edge there. I'm going to modify it with your basic disc reflector. Turn the light on, that helps. And there we go, we can take our first shot just to see where we're at here. That's actually looking pretty good. I want that reflection to cover the full length of the right-hand side of the cup. Now I know right off the bat that this is going to be a very hard and specular light source. So I'm going to modify it again with my large roll of diffusion paper placed in between the light and my cup. And that's just going to help blend out that reflection, giving me that gradation, but still maintaining that strength and harder qualities of the light. I have a 20-degree grid dish reflector combo that I'm going to use to modify my second light here. This light is going to fill in the left-hand side of my cup, but also provide a really nice highlight on the rim of the cup there. I'm going to slam this down and raise it all the way up. Well, actually, I should turn the power on first to make sure it's at the right exposure. It is. Great. Now I'm going to move it in and raise it all the way up, giving this glass a nice spotlight effect. Raise it up a little bit, right about there. We can take a shot and see where we're at. And so you can see that really nice specular highlight there on the rim. I like that. It draws the eye into the frame. And the fill light and the catch light on those beads of condensation are fantastic. Speaking about this condensation, a little behind the scenes here is that's been on this cup for about, 7 hours now since I've been testing out this shot. And it still looks exactly the same. No drips, no nothing. I have a little top secret recipe for creating this realistic looking but completely fake condensation, and it lasts forever. I'll make a short little video about how to create this stuff over on my Patreon. I'll place the link in the description. Go check it out if you want to learn how to make this stuff. I think it's a really neat styling trick. Okay, so I placed a snoot on my third light here, and I want to add a bit of drama to my background. Now I have to say right off the bat that I'm pretty horrible with placing background lights. It usually takes me about 8,000 tries to get it right. We can see what we do here. I'll raise it up. I think right about there should be good. We'll take a shot and see where we're at. Okay, yeah, that's absolutely horrible. So I'm gonna raise it up a little bit more to say there, whole lot more. I want a slight vignette, but nothing that dramatic. So that looks pretty good. Maybe I'll fuss with it a little bit more, but that pretty much finishes up the lighting portion of this image. Now it's just on to styling the drink and cranking this shot up to 11. Okay, real quick, before I move any further here, right now, as it stands, it's not a very exciting shot. It's nice lighting, but it's coffee in a cup. I add the cream, and I'm sure you guys have seen it a million times before. So, to turn it up a notch and add my own creative spin to it, I'm going to add a few extra elements to this final shot. The first one is, as I pour the cream, I'm going to fire off the camera as fast as possible, hoping to capture as many images as I can of that cream falling down and swirling around the cup. Then I'll take all of those images along with the extra elements into post-production and turn this still image into a really cool piece of motion. Well, that's the plan at least. Hopefully I don't have to remake the drink and restyle it and I can get it in a single take. That's most likely what's not going to happen, but here's to wishful thinking. So did you get it? No, you did not. So as you can probably tell, I didn't get it. So I'm remaking it one more time. This scenario of pushing past what's being asked for in the brief is very common on set. Oftentimes when you're making an image for a client, you'll think of something new, something different, something that might even be better. It could be risky though, so you want to make sure that you've nailed the shot that they're asking for, and you want to double check and triple check that you've got it. But once you have it, Destroy the dish, destroy the drink, destroy the set, and just, reach for that photography gold. You might come out with something good. Just gonna keep clicking forever. I don't know when I can stop. Okay, so I have my still images. Now I'm gonna take them and turn them into some really cool motion. I have all of my images already cropped, sized, and color corrected in a single folder. Except for that image with our whipped cream, I've put that outside the folder for now. I'll bring that back in just a second. I'm gonna select my first image right here in this folder, then click on this box titled Image Sequence, then click Open. This will bring all of those images in that folder inside of Photoshop as a video clip. Photoshop's gonna ask me what kind of frame rate I want. From this list, I'm gonna select 10 to give me that stop motion feel. Now you can see that it's loaded up all of my images onto the timeline into one single video clip. If you can't see your timeline, go to Window up top here, scroll down and select Timeline from the list. I'll give it a play and you can see that all of those images that I took of the cream falling and swirling around the coffee has now turned into a cool stop motion. But we're not gonna stop there. Now I'm gonna bring in that image with the whipped cream. I'll drag this new layer above my video group here. I'll just shrink down my timeline and place this image with the whipped cream above my stop motion. Then stretch it out to match the length of the clip below. I'm also gonna create another layer and I'll fill this one with that green screen color. I'll drag this layer below the rest and stretch out the clip on the timeline to match the rest. Okay, now I have my layers ready. I'm gonna start subtracting this background. And I know I spent all that time lighting it, but it'll make sense in just a second. So I'll turn off this top layer for right now, create a mask on my stop motion layer, grab my magic wand tool and just start selecting the yellow out. I'll leave the rock base, but everything around the cup. I'll grab my brush tool and remove the top of the cup as well. This is where the whipped cream from my other image will go. Now that I have that background cut out, I'll create a mask on the whipped cream image and I'll do the same. I'm gonna zoom in here and clean up the mask around the caramel drizzle, just to make sure that the entire whipped cream top is in there in the selection. Then subtract the background. Now I'll grab my brush tool, control click on that mask to get that selection back again, and remove the cup to allow our stop motion to peer through. Okay, now that I have both backgrounds cut out, I'll just give it a play one more time and just to see if everything looks good. It's looking great, so I'm finished here in Photoshop at this point. So I'll export this, File, Export, Render Video. I'll give it a name and just check that everything looks good here. It's at H.264, highest quality. This is my frame size at 4x5 at 10 frames per second. So everything looks good. I'll just click Render. And now's a good time to talk about the sponsor for today's video, Storyblocks. Storyblocks offers unlimited downloads of diverse and high quality media for one predictable subscription cost. Say goodbye to expensive pay-per-click pricing. I've been using Storyblocks for a while now. I always seem to be able to find the perfect clip or audio tracks that I need for my client projects or for YouTube, or if I need cool isolated clouds on black backgrounds, like for this project. I found these by simply typing in clouds on black backgrounds, and I found the one that I liked. And down below, I found his friends too. I grabbed the highest quality, 4K, then hit download. I also found this really great clip of sun rays that I think I'll use as well. They have over 1 million 4K or HD footage, templates, music, sound effects, images, and more. Anything that you download from Storyblocks is 100% royalty free. You can use it in your content for Instagram, for YouTube, whatever project that you're working on, even your client work. So to get started with unlimited stock media downloads at one set price, head over to storyblocks.com/SkylarBurt or click on the link in the description below. Now that we're done in Photoshop, we can hop on over to Vinci Resolve. That's the program that I use to edit. You guys might use something different, and that's great. Whatever I show you today can be pretty much done in whatever program that you like to edit in. So I've imported all of my clips here, my green screen stop motion that we made in Photoshop. I pulled a single image from the take that I'll use as my background, and then all of those stock videos that I downloaded from Storyblocks. I'll start with my stop motion clip here. I'll drag that to the timeline. I'll just adjust my timeline here to give me some more space. I want this entire thing to be at least 10 seconds long. Slow down this clip until it reaches 10 seconds. Then I can close that and bring in my still image background clip. I'll just place that underneath my stop motion here. I'm also going to change my aspect ratio here. Click on this little gear icon down here at the bottom, then change the ratio from 1080 to 1920 by 2400, which is the size of my image. Then I'll click OK. Okay, that's looking good. Now to remove the green background. And this is kind of where it might deviate a little depending on the software that you're going to be using, but it's relatively the same process. So in DaVinci here, I'll click on the Fusion tab down below. In the Effects tab, I'll search for the keyer. Select Delta Keyer. Drag that down and place the node in between my other two here. Then on the right, click on the background color button. Then in this box, click Pick Screen Color. Then I'll hover my cursor over the video and select that green and click OK. Now my background is removed, but to further make it perfect, I'll go up to View Mode, select Matte, then I'll click on the matte icon down below as well. Then with these threshold sliders, I can tuck in anything that's bleeding over. I want to make sure there's no gray showing on my black background. I want my blacks to be black, somewhere around there. And I want to make sure that my white is solid white on that cup. So on the right-hand side of this slider, I can move that in until all the gray disappears there as well. Pretty easy. I'll go back up to my view mode and select final result. Then I'll go back into my timeline. And there I have my yellow background back from this other clip that we have underneath. Now to add all these clouds. I'll select all of them and drag them all to the timeline. Now with my scrubber over the first one, I'll hop back into the Fusion tab. This time I'm going to select the Luma keyer to remove that black background. You can see that it automatically drops that black background out, but up to the right here I have this slider again. Now the left-hand side controls the darker areas. I'll bring that into around 0.45, and the right hand controls the bright areas. I'll slide that over just a bit to about 0.9. I'll jump back into my timeline just to see how this all looks. I'll drag this over to my other clips here, slow it down a bit so it'll match the length of my stop motion. Then drag my stop motion clip above the cloud. This will place the cloud between the background and the cup. Now I'll shrink this down a bit to fit in there. It's looking okay, but it's a little bold. So over here in the inspector under the composite mode tab, I'll set this to soft light. Now I'll do the same steps for all the other cloud clips that I have. Okay, now that I have all these clouds kind of where I want them, I'm gonna add some motion to get these clouds looking like the wind is blowing a little bit. I'll select this top clip, create a keyframe on my starting position, then go to the end of the clip and move the cloud over horizontally to somewhere around there. I'll play it back. It's looking good. Kind of just drifting along. Okay, now I'll do the same for the rest of the clouds and get them all moving at once. Nice. It adds some 3D depth to the shot. Now the final clip is this sunray shot that I got from Storyblocks as well. I'll drop that in above all my other clips. As I scrub around here, I kind of like where it's getting more intense in these areas. So I'll keep those and shorten up the rest of the clip. I'm going to head back over here into my composite mode and select soft light again just to blend this in. Now I don't really like the rays coming in from the middle here, so I'm going to rotate this clip where it looks like it's coming from the top right hand corner there. Now I'll just stretch this clip out so it fills the frame. And we took this boring kind of overdone still image and made this. Well, that's it for this video. Give it a like, subscribe, turn on notifications, hit all those buttons, drop some comments down below. I love hearing from you guys. And remember, crank it up to 11. Man, I need some more coffee.